I had known since we had him I wanted to do something and be an advocate to make someone else's experience smoother, but I didn't know what. And I was cleaning one day and Colin was gone, and it came to me, In Case You're Down, and he came home and I'm like, what do you think about In Case You're Down? And he's like, who came up with that? I'm like, me, I came up with that. I'm like, it was me. But yeah, so I just want to make an experience smoother for someone else, because we searched the internet for something out there and we found a few videos and we just watch them over and over and over again, just to reassure ourselves that it's not all scary and there's no bad. So when we had Case, we didn't know that he was going to be born with Down syndrome. Everything checked out fine in his anatomy scan at 20 weeks, so we didn't expect that.
We had Jude, the pregnancy was really easy, and about 10 minutes later, after we had him, they handed him to me and everybody left the room. And we were like, this is kind of weird. We didn't really know if that was normal, because he was our first baby. And then my doctor put her head in the room and her eyes were just big. And she comes over and she's like, can I talk to you guys for a minute? And we're like, sure, yeah, I guess. And she puts her hand on my shoulder and she says, we think your kiddo has Down syndrome. And we just kind of were like, okay. We just
said okay, and she left the room.
And we just cried.
Yeah, for like 4 days straight.
I think my experience might be a little bit different because Berlin was born in Germany. 4 little German nurses shuffled into our room with a couple of German doctors, and they were all crying, sobbing very loudly. And so we thought at first that we had lost our baby. My husband and I looked at each other kind of like, okay, this could be bad. And they were quiet for a minute, and then all of a sudden one of the doctors said, we suspect that your daughter has Down syndrome. And so both of us kind of looked at each other like, oh, she's okay.
Scotty is the 3rd child, but he's the first boy. And we did not know that he was Down syndrome. We were kind of shocked and overwhelmed. I was so devastated. I remember thinking that it was my fault, that something I had done was the reason why all of this was happening.
I was at the doctor's office with my husband and I just started bawling. And I told my husband, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, because I felt like I failed to give him the perfect baby.
When he was born, all I could see was Down syndrome. I would sob and I just kept saying to Colin, he doesn't look like us, he's not gonna look like us. There will come a day when you just see your baby for who they are, not for what they have.
So I think I would tell people that it's okay to feel the way you do. Really,
cry.
It's okay to cry, and it's okay to feel sad. And don't feel guilty for feeling that way, because your life just changed forever, but
for the good.
For the good, not for the bad.
The best advice I could give someone that is finding out they're gonna have a baby with Down syndrome is that you're okay to grieve. You kind of picture your life and you picture all the things you want to do with your baby. Is that funny? And so when you realize that vision has changed, you have a right to grieve, I think.
You will feel so many emotions. One thing that a friend of my mom's told me the very first couple days after we had Berlin was, you will feel every emotion that there is. And you will feel those emotions, all of them in an hour, and some of them all in a day, and that's okay.
People are going to say stupid things. We had a lot of people actually apologize and say, we're sorry to hear that he has Down syndrome. And they shouldn't be saying sorry. They should have been congratulating us,
Yeah. I think one thing I was most afraid of is the way people would look at me and Trey. I remember a time I posted a picture of Trey on Instagram, and a stranger commented that my son was an abomination. And it hurt so bad. When I saw that, I thought, how could people see someone so sweet and precious as an abomination?
Google is not your friend.
Don't Google. Whatever you do, don't Google.
One of the best things about having a baby with Down syndrome is the Down syndrome community. So when you have a baby with Down syndrome and you post a picture, all of a sudden you're flooded with strangers that also have children with Down syndrome that just want to be there for you and be your friend and watch your journey.
There are so many people along the way that will help you out, and there's so many positive people out there that are so excited to help your kids. And so it's just so fun to have this little community around you that's rallying for your child to do their best.
Connect with as many moms as you can, because doctors can tell you things and friends can tell you things, but only people that have been in your circumstance can really tell you how it really is. Get a good support system. Your friends and your family and other parents with children with Down syndrome or any disability, having them to be there and support you is going to be the best thing.
It was stressful.
Yeah, and like seriously, it turned our whole world upside down instantly, because we had all these dreams of who Jude was going to be, and we'd been waiting for him for years and years, and then suddenly it's like, oh, we have to adjust our expectations.
We farm for a living, and that's my dream, to have this kid that just wants to farm with me, because that's my passion. But then when he's born, your world kind of gets flipped over, because it's going to be different. But he may still do all these things. He could still drive tractors.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when you have a kid with Down syndrome, you just think of all the things they can't do. But I didn't realize this until we had Case, but there are kids with Down syndrome attending college and that have jobs.
Live on their own.
Live on their own. And so don't limit your mindset, because they are doing so much.
And the things that they do, I feel are more important than the things that they would never be able to do anyways.
Darren is a coach, and he was spent a lot of time coaching, and so we were so excited to have our boy that was going to be our sports person and going to be able to be coached by his dad and stuff and that. And I just totally felt like that was not going to happen.
I had him on my junior high football team, and I wanted to, I don't want him to get hurt or even hit, because he loves you.
Me.
His highlight was riding the bus. That's what he wanted to do. And he'd go to the back of the bus, lead all the cheers, and everybody loved him. And as long as he got in for one play, that's all he needed. And I put him in, and I told 3 or 4 of his friends, I said, now don't you let anybody touch him. And he scored a couple touchdowns that year. We let him.
Did you get a
Scored
touchdown?
all the way,
Yes.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Let's just sit down and he went. And when my sit down is my trophy.
I think that's one of the best things about having a kid with Down syndrome is every little thing they do, you get to celebrate. I mean, we are constantly cheering and celebrating. Like, he took his first step yesterday by himself, and it was like a party. Like, you just cheer and have fun, and he gets so excited. And I think that's a blessing, because like other kids, they walk at 12 months like normal, and it's like, cool, you're walking. But Jude, 19 months, took his first step, and we're freaking out. Like, we love it.
Down syndrome is not sad. As you can see, Down syndrome is awesome and happy and fun. When we saw her, the joy that we felt was just so amazing. And when you have a person with Down syndrome in your house, you feel that joy and that excited happiness all the time, and it is amazing.
And that's probably my greatest blessing with Treg, is that I got to see firsthand all the amazing things he can do, and what a sweet spirit and just like the joy he brings into my family's life.
He has brought so much joy, and the thing that I love about Scotty is everywhere he goes, he meets new people, which makes me meet new people. And so I am a much better person, and I have come out of my shell so much because of him, because everywhere we go, he meets new people and they love him.
Once you meet them, everything will change, and it's going to be everything you thought it would be, plus a little extra.